the Olympics and the diplomatic boycott. Several reports the president has decided to move forward with the move. Is that correct, that he's come to his decision?
The Biden administration will not send any diplomatic or official representation to the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics and Paralympic Games, given the PRC's ongoing genocide and crimes against humanity in Xinjiang and other human rights abuses. The athletes on Team USA have our full support. We will be behind them 100% as we cheer them on from home. We will not be contributing to the fanfare of the Games. U.S. diplomatic or official representation would treat these games as business as usual in the face of the PRC's egregious human rights abuses and atrocities in Xinjiang, and we simply can't do that. As the president has told President Xi, standing up for human rights is in the DNA of Americans. We have a fundamental commitment to promoting human rights, and we feel strongly in our position, and we will continue to take actions to advance human rights in China and beyond.
The Chinese Foreign Ministry has already suggested that there'll be countermeasures, firm countermeasures, I believe the term that they've used. Have they indicated to the administration yet what sort of action that they might take for this move?
Well, I don't have anything to read out in terms of their intentions or what they would convey from officials from the PRC. But our view is that's not the right way to view or frame our relationship. Our view is that cooperation on transnational issues is not a favor to us. It is not a transaction. The PRC should be taking action on issues where the global community, to meet the needs of the global community. And that's what they should do in order to be a part of leadership in the global community. So I don't have anything to read out on their front. They can certainly speak for themselves.
Is the diplomatic boycott enough given the human rights abuses?
Well, let me first say, everybody can call it whatever they want to call it. I would just remind you that often when you use diplomatic boycott, that phrase, that brings people back to 1980, and we are not. The athletes will be participating. We will be rooting for the athletes from home. I am an Olympics-obsessed person, so I'm looking forward to doing that. But I think this is just an indication that it cannot be business as usual, that not sending a diplomatic delegation sends that message. That does not mean, I think this was your question, just to come back to it, that that is the end of the concerns we will raise about human rights abuses in Xinjiang. We've already taken a number of steps. We've been a leader in the world in leading actions through the G7. We're obviously also working with Congress, but this is just sending a message that, given these human rights abuses, we cannot proceed with business as usual. Go ahead.
Are you trying to get other allies to join the United States in this diplomatic boycott?
Well, Steve, we have informed them of our decision, and obviously we will leave it to them to make their own decisions.
Why not pull American athletes from the Olympics?
I don't think that we felt it was the right step to penalize athletes who have been training, preparing for this moment, and we felt that we could send a clear message by not sending an official U.S. delegation.
冬奥会4年一次，是运动员们展现自身风采的难得机遇。北京冬奥会的主角是各国运动员，而不是个别政客。那些叫嚷抵制的政客，为了政治私利作秀炒作，他们来或者不来，没有人会在意。对北京成功举办冬奥会也没有任何的影响。
This is an important question, David, and it's something I've struggled with because I've been speaking over months with Canadian Olympic Committee, athletes, Olympic representatives like Mr. Pound and others, to try and see how we can express our profound displeasure with the conduct of the regime in China without hurting the athletes. We're all proud of the men and women who train so hard to wear our maple leaf. They should also wear our values abroad as well. So we've been proposing moving the games. There wasn't any interest by the Trudeau government in that. We've proposed the diplomatic boycott. I think that's the best thing we can do alongside our allies to show pressure, but not to make the athletes pay the price for the conduct in Beijing.
And there's a few reasons why I think we need to boycott, have a diplomatic boycott. Part of it is that, frankly, I'm banned from China. we have parliamentarians in our House of Commons that have been banned by the Chinese government. That means that if we did send a diplomatic mission, that China, in fact, is choosing who gets to go on that mission, because we have members of our House of Commons who have lost the ability to be part of that mission. That in and of itself, to me, is problematic. But also, I think that there is, there's huge problems having the Olympics in Beijing, knowing that there's genocide happening in that country, knowing that our government has voted unanimously and our opposition, our House of Parliament, has voted unanimously on that genocide. So I think that we need to send a message to Beijing that the world is watching, that the world is paying attention, that we are not going to allow this to go unchallenged.